The New York Knicks were supposed to be different this year. NBA Cup champions. Karl-Anthony Towns finally getting his shot at a title. Jalen Brunson playing at an all-NBA level. Mike Brown brought in to get them over the hump. Just a few weeks ago, they were competing with Detroit for the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, they're in complete freefall and it's getting ugly fast. The Knicks have lost 9 of their last 11 games, including 4 straight heading into this week. That's a 2-8 stretch in January, their worst 10-game run since the 2019-20 season when they were actively tanking. But this isn't some rebuilding team hitting a rough patch. This is a squad that was NBA Finals or bust, now desperately fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. They're currently 25-18, third in the East. Sounds decent until you realize they're only 2 games ahead of 7th place. 2 games separating a top 3 seed with home court advantage from potentially having to win 2 elimination games just to make the actual playoffs. If you like this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's talk about how disastrous January has been. The Knicks are 2-8 this month. The only team with a worse record in January? The Utah Jazz, who have 14 total wins all season. New York is getting outscored by teams actively trying to lose. And these aren't close games. On Monday, they got demolished at Madison Square Garden by the Dallas Mavericks, 114-97. Dallas is 17-26, near the bottom of the West, missing Anthony Davis and multiple rotation players. Cooper Flagg dropped 18 points in his first game at MSG. Max Christie, a role player, had a season-high 26. The Knicks trailed by 30 points in the first half and got booed mercilessly by their own fans during a 75-47 halftime deficit. Think about that. The Knicks were 23-9 on December 31st. They looked like legitimate championship contenders. Less than 3 weeks later, they're getting blown out at home by a team that traded away Luka Doncic and is openly building around a rookie. The Mavericks went on a 13-0 run in the second quarter that absolutely buried New York. By halftime, the boos were echoing through Madison Square Garden so loud you could hear them on the broadcast. Even with Jalen Brunson back from his ankle injury, even at full strength, they got run off their home court. Brunson had 22 points. Towns had 22 and 18 rebounds. It didn't matter. When you're losing by 30 at home to a lottery team, something is fundamentally broken. The defense has completely collapsed. The Knicks rank 18th in defensive rating this season, and over the last 10 games, only Utah has allowed more points. What was supposed to be their identity, their calling card, has become their biggest weakness. Teams are scoring at will against them. They can't protect the paint, they're getting killed on the perimeter, and the rebounding has been a disaster. Against Sacramento earlier this month, they shot a franchise-worst 19.5% from 3, 8 for 41. They missed their first 12 three-point attempts. Karl-Anthony Towns scored 13 points in the first half, then went scoreless the entire second half. 0 points. For a max player brought in to be your second option, that's unacceptable. Against the Mavericks, the Knicks went 0 for 9 from 3 in the first quarter alone. The shooting struggles aren't just bad luck. They've been the 3rd best three-point shooting team all season, but in January they've fallen to 23rd. Mikal Bridges, who was hitting 43.1% through the first 3 months, has dropped to 35.6% this month. When your shooters stop shooting, your offense falls apart. What do you think the Knicks should do? Let me know in the comments. The body language is terrible too. In one game, Karl-Anthony Towns fell down on defense and just stayed on the Knicks' end of the court for an entire possession. His teammates got a 4-on-5 stop, and Towns was still on the ground as the other team hit a 3. Against Dallas, he got called for a flagrant foul for kicking Dwight Powell in the groin area while attempting a shot. That's not championship basketball. That's a team mentally checking out. Owner James Dolan went on WFAN radio just before this collapse started and said the Knicks should win the finals. Not just make it, but win it. He slammed his hand on the desk for emphasis. That's the expectation in New York. Anything less than a championship is a failure. Right now, they're trending toward not even making the playoffs. The schedule doesn't get easier either. They have Brooklyn coming up, then Philadelphia on the road. After that, they enter a brutal February stretch with the Lakers, Denver, Boston, Indiana, another Philly game, Cleveland, and Milwaukee. 9 of their next 15 games are against teams currently in playoff position. If they don't figure this out immediately, they're going to fall completely out of contention. Here's the scariest part. Historically, teams that go 2-8 at any point in the regular season almost never win a championship. When a team shows this level of inconsistency and mental fragility mid-season, it usually carries into the playoffs. You can't just flip a switch and suddenly become tough again. The doubt is already there, the frustration is visible, the fans are turning on them. Mike Brown was brought in specifically because Tom Thibodeau couldn't get them over the hump. The mandate was clear: finals or bust. Brown was supposed to use his bench more, create ball movement, take pressure off Brunson. Instead, the defense has cratered to 18th in the league, the bench hasn't been noticeably better, and they're somehow even more dependent on Brunson than before. When he missed 2 games with that ankle injury, they had absolutely no answer. After the Phoenix loss, Brown was asked about fans booing at Madison Square Garden. His response? He basically said, "There's concern, but they're not overhauling everything. Your team is in freefall, getting booed at home by some of the most passionate fans in basketball, and the coach seems too calm about it." That might be more concerning than the losses themselves. Championship teams have urgency. They panic when things go wrong and make adjustments. The Knicks seem content to ride it out and hope it gets better. The trade deadline is February 5th, but the Knicks are capped out. They're sitting just under the second apron, so they can't take back more salary than they send out. Their options are extremely limited. They might be stuck with this roster for better or worse, which means they either fix it internally or this season is over. What makes this collapse so shocking is nobody saw it coming. They won the NBA Cup in dominant fashion. They were 23-9, entering the final game of December. Karl-Anthony Towns looked rejuvenated playing meaningful games. Jalen Brunson was an MVP candidate. The chemistry seemed perfect. Everything looked championship ready. Then January happened and it all fell apart in 2 weeks. Can they turn it around? They still have talent. Brunson is back healthy. They're not mathematically eliminated from anything. But this is the kind of collapse that breaks teams. Once doubt creeps in, once guys start pointing fingers and coaches lose the locker room, it's really hard to recover. Right now, the Knicks look broken. The energy is gone. The toughness is gone. The defense is gone. If they don't fix this immediately, we're looking back at January 2026 as the month the Knicks championship window slammed shut. Don't forget to subscribe for more NBA breakdowns just like this one.